Modern Mahjong's back with post number 4 in our series on Mahjong etiquette. Mahjong is a game of friendship and charity, and good sportsmanship and general courtesy are part of the game, and often proper Mahjong etiquette. Times when good sportsmanship is also proper etiquette include congratulating the winner, when making a dead hand challenge, when a player is about to make a mistake resulting in a dead hand, and when picking and discarding. Many players reading this might be new to the game. Welcome. There is no need to feel overwhelmed. These posts are here to go above and beyond to share information. Take whatever you find helpful and then come back and read some more after you play with encouraging and more experienced players. Let them know when playing that you would like to understand what they would want you to play. In other words, ask. Communication is key. Let's start with number 1. A player has Mahjong. Congratulations! Let's celebrate. We know it's about socializing. We know it's about playing the game, learning, brain health, but there's only one winner. You can't Mahjong second. So when somebody announces that they won, let's all congratulate them. Validate the hand and say congratulations. Other things to say are, that's my favorite hand, way to go, great game. If your group learns from what others play, then feel free to share and discuss your hands. But otherwise, remember, it's not about you. Many players actually don't appreciate when somebody would point out, oh, I knew you needed this, so I wasn't discarding it. Or, oh, look what I needed. Some players even call it the autopsy. When somebody wins the game, they don't want to dissect the other hands. They just want to put those tiles in the center, shuffle, and deal. Number 2, when making a dead hand challenge. Just like no one wants to strike out in baseball, players really don't want to have their hand called dead. Usually, there are exceptions, such as if all you have are dangerous tiles and you don't want to have to discard. Having an unwinnable hand is part and parcel of the game. Sometimes you have too few tiles, too many tiles, you discarded before you picked, something. If you have a hand that cannot be winnable, another player can call your hand dead. If you're doing this and you're making a dead hand challenge, keep these things in mind. You are calling the player's hand dead. Sounds silly, but somebody really doesn't want a finger pointing in their face saying, you're dead. So call their hand dead. Also, keep the tone polite and matter of fact, not accusatory. Next up, what about when players get confused? Which wall is next? Which tiles should I pick? Sometimes players get confused. There's talking going on. There's other distractions. They might be about to make an incorrect action. If a player hasn't picked yet and they ask which wall or which tile, it's proper etiquette to guide them rather than allow them to make a mistake and call their hand dead. Here's a question for you. What would you do if you saw that a player was about to do a joker exchange but hadn't picked first? Would you remind them as etiquette that in order to prevent their hand from being dead, they need to pick first or call a tile and complete that exposure before doing a joker exchange? Or would you let them, as a strategy, make that improper action? Interesting question where strategy and etiquette intersect. Picking and discarding. Each game has a pace. Even if your group plays fast, please don't hover with your hand to pick that tile before the last discard was even named or placed on the table. At least take a beat and then pick. And please don't speed rack. While racking isn't required, if you're hovering and your hand instantly picks from the wall and then you immediately flip over the tile and discard it, players do not have time to call a tile. So it's important to keep pace, but please take a beat and enjoy. One thing that kind of helps people think about taking a beat is consider the walls of tiles a fence around the beautiful garden of the Mahjong discards and the walls. Keep your arms and hands out of that garden until it's your turn. It's also helpful when players understand what's expected by other players during games. Mahjong is both a looking and listening game, and players should pay attention to tiles discarded. Players don't appreciate when somebody asks every 2 seconds, what was the tile discarded? What did they say? What was thrown? Other expectations. Like we said before, every group has its own dynamic. Players should keep pace at the table. If you're a newer player and you're playing with patient, more experienced players that are welcoming, it's great to discuss the pace and other things that they expect from you while playing. One thing that new players can really help to keep pace is plan ahead. In the beginning, take your time as you improve your play and your decision making, but plan ahead and know what you can call and will call. This way, you won't need to say hold with every single discard. Not only does that slow down the game, but it also gives away information about your hand. Don't deliberate with every single pick and discard. Sometimes when you're first learning, part of it is just picking, discarding, picking, discarding. If you're not playing an easy hand or the tiles didn't come to you this time, just stay in the game and enjoy it. And a new a new taking of tiles, since we don't get dealt tiles, a new taking of tiles will be coming soon. It is okay to ask players to hold every once in a while, but often players don't enjoy when the same player holds up the game to consider each and every discard. So keep that in mind. This is post number 4, and we have one more post planned for tomorrow. What else have we missed? Do you have questions on rules, etiquette, strategy, or where they intersect? Email us at modernmahjong@gmail.com or post on our Facebook group. We invite you to watch the replay of our panel on etiquette on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening and watching our videos and sharing with family and friends and players. We appreciate your support, and we invite you to visit modernmahjong.com, where we have a curated collection of Mahjong and Canasta gifts and accessories. Did you hear? Now's your chance to elevate your game from the comfort of your home in 3 sessions on Zoom on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Don't worry if you can't make all 3. They'll be recorded and shared privately with those who register. Registration's open now. You can go to bit.ly/Mahjong series, the M and the S are capital, or scan that handy QR code. If you aren't following us, what are you missing out on? As you could tell from these posts, we love sharing information about rules and strategy and connecting players. Tag your friends so they don't miss out. With that, we hope you have a great day and a great game.